Well, that's my concern now. Who you have, you're going to have these programs with these boosters who have these companies that are just going to be like, hey, you play for this school, and here's your $100,000 sign-on bonus and whatnot, just to make sure you stay. And if they don't pan out, well, they can always pull the funding too. I just don't know how this is going to affect the landscape in terms of the haves and have-nots. Is it going to make a greater divide amongst the teams and programs, or is it going to reduce the divide? I don't know. I'm leaning towards it going to increase the divide and make it worse.
You were the one that wanted them to get paid. I was against it.
Well, just because I believe it would increase the divide doesn't mean I don't support them getting some sort of income from these sports that generate billions of dollars.
I know, but it's not a job, Rob. I mean, college is not a job. And
but if you go to some of these practices, I mean, they're working them like a job. I mean, these athletes get work. They're in practice every day.
Well, it's, you know what, it's prep for a future job, but it's the coach's job to
and with football, I mean, their bodies are, you get laid out. It's football. I mean, the wear and tear on the bodies too.
But the players knew that for years going in, and they did it anyway. They knew what they had, what they were up against. It wasn't like they went in blind. And I just think it's going to hurt in the long run because agents are going to come in and ruin things.
So the coaches and these schools can just rake in billions, but the players, they got their $40,000 scholarship. It's good enough, right?
See, you know what? Yeah, honestly, yeah, they should be able to, because that's what you go into business for, is to make money.
Yeah, but they're not, at the same time, they're not slaves, though. So they shouldn't be I mean, you can't sell your own jersey. That's crazy.
No, you can't say that, because this is.
Of course I can. If you go into school and you can't even sell your own jersey with your name on it, that was the way it was.
But it's not a job. This is not the same thing. And you no one's making you a slave. You don't have to go.
You don't have to go, but I'm saying, why are you forced to not even sell your own jersey either? Okay, you don't have to go, but why can't, who is that hurting?
But they are like the old.
By the way, Smart and Final just said the one and done is making college basketball not as fun to watch. I agree with that statement.
Right. He's right. Who is that guy anyway?
And I don't think paying them is going to make that a greater problem. Smart and Final, I don't know. Are you talking about Keith Smart in the final in '87? If so, you're just gonna have to go forever. Sorry, no, I'm kidding. Just stick around as long as you want. But I just see Smart and Final, and automatically my mind goes to 1987, and I'm traumatized, and it's the worst thing ever, pretty much. I just don't see what the problem is. What is inherently the problem with having players make some money?
Well, that's it. But you see, you can't see the problem right now because the agents haven't come in and ruined everything yet, but they will. They're going to cause all kinds of problems. I guarantee it. They're ruining the game in the pros. Look, the players are not. This is the one thing players don't get, no matter what league they're in. They are not the business, and it's the league that people want to see. It's your favorite team when you're little. You don't care if you're real little. You don't know who's on your own team that you like most of the time. But you know what? It's the fact that it's your team. You're seeing them in the uniforms you like to see them in. They're playing, and that's it. I mean, that's what you like. And they could be good, they could be bad, doesn't matter. You still love them. And that's what the players have forgotten. They think that they run the system. They do not. Because long after they're gone, we're still going to be fans. It's still like that team. No matter who they are, you hear that LeBron, that's you too. And fame is fleeting. It comes and goes really quick. So, but when it's there, the problem is people's heads get too big and they think that it's them. It's not them. It's not. It's the league itself. It's the system. That's why I don't understand. Like when people change rules, which they're doing now in every sport, especially baseball. Why? It's the game that made us love it in the first place. The way it was originally played. You don't need to keep adding on things. It's dumb. Stop it. We love the game because it's the game. We don't love the game because I decided to put 10 guys on second base every inning and I let them score whenever they want. No. It's not because we put a DH in. No. Because you know why? The rule says if you want to bat, you got to play the field too. How about that? That's the rule. And you're changing it. And you're like, oh, it's better. It's better. No, because even if you never touched it, people would still be paying money to go see you. That is a total idiot. It's an idiot's way to think. It really is. But everybody thinks that way. They're like, oh, it's make for more money. No, you're paying money anyway to go see who you like. So that's totally ignorant. It's ignorant, really. It's not right. And I mean, you know what? It's funny. I was out the other night at the bar, and I don't drink, folks, but I was out at the bar. And this girl was like, the bartender was talking to me. She was like, we were talking about music, and she goes, she put on like the place was empty, so she put on her own videos to listen to music on the loudspeaker. And I go, this music makes you want to like jump off a building and shoot yourself. It's so depressing. She goes, oh, I love this, and I go, it stinks. You understand stinks? And she went, well, you can't say everybody has. I go, wait a minute. I go, everybody has their own opinion. Doesn't mean you're right. I go, believe me, this stuff stinks. I go, when I was a kid, my parents thought rock and roll stunk. I go, but I can tell you for a fact, this stuff today really does. It stinks. I go, there's some concrete things in life that you just can't change. Sun rises in the east. Right? And she just looked at me and went, because she couldn't answer it. That was her reply. But we are thinking so out of the box. You don't need to be out of the box. You know what? There's an old saying. You have your mind open too much, your brain falls out of your head. You can't always do it.
But how is it so out of the box when you have these universities signing these $250 million TV deals, just millions and millions of dollars pouring in, and off of the labor of the kids playing these sports and bringing these fans in, and they can't get a couple grand on the side selling their jersey or something?
No,
that seems crazy. It just seems ridiculous.
To quote Reuben Kincaid on the Partridge Family, he was their manager in the old TV show because he is management. That's right, because they're allowed to do it. The colleges, they're management. That's their business.
So if you take all the quality caliber players at Division I, and they all of a sudden they don't go to college because they're not. There's no pay, and now there's an NFL league hypothetically. So do you think the money would still be there to run like intramural type squads as these schools' primary teams? You think they're going to make as much money with less quality players?
They could.
I'm telling you right now, it's a big drop off when the Cuse men come play pickup games at Archbold. You watch them run around. Then the regular guys that play pickup games. It's a big drop off.
Well, but you know what though? That could happen now, Rob, because the kids are getting paid. They can go where they want. You may lose a lot of players if they don't want to play for you, or better yet, if Cuse doesn't want to give the money out. Then you're going to be watching, the water boy run down the field. Yeah, because nobody's going to want to go if you don't pay the money.
But there's still hundreds and hundreds of players. I mean, not everyone can go to Alabama to get the the 100K booster bag. Well, you're going to have to go somewhere else.
There's going to be people that still go, even if it's the water boy catching a pass. But or making a dunk. My brother's driving me crazy. He's texting me. But,
and if the Alabama kid gets 150 grand from the Jimbo Bob's car dealership alumni booster fund, and the Northeast kid gets 50, 60 from his shirt deal, what's the problem?
Okay, think about this. Don't you think that's even going to make the balance of the teams that have the money even higher? It's like the Yankees.
It could make the have-nots have less and the haves have more. It could, definitely.
That's right. And what good would that do? And then other fans, like you said, would get upset. And the Yankees do it. That's what they do. They always, we all want to beat them if you don't like them, but we all know we wish we were running the.
But just because it could create that outcome doesn't mean they shouldn't get anything.
No, it does, because it comes back to it's not work. You're going to school and you're paying them to go.
But when you're competing at that level,
I don't think they should be charging.
I mean, you're competing at that level. You're playing in front of 20,000 people in basketball. I mean, and they're working them. They're working these kids. They're not just showing up to class.
And why should a lot of these kids have shirts and shoes when a lot of them haven't even? I mean,
but why not though? Why not though? Why not? Because he wants to have a shirt. The guy wants to have a shirt. Why can't he have a shirt and sell a shirt?
Because he's not that good. You want a
Who cares
shirt?
if he's good
Go
or
to
not?
the store and
But
buy one.
it doesn't matter if he's good enough or not. If he wants to sell a shirt with his image, why can't he? Even if he's on the bench, who cares?
Because you have to earn that right by being good enough. If you're not good enough, who really wants to buy your shirt anyway? Nobody.
I mean, you made a Division I squad. I mean, what's good enough?
Hey, that doesn't mean anything. There's a lot of bench players in Division I that never play.
But they all were superstars in high school and all were to the top of their regions.
Not all of them.
Most of them.
The superstars play, but you know what? The rest of them are, I mean, they're not all that good. Just like the NBA. There's too many roster spots. Why do you think the league stinks now? It stinks because there's just too many. In the old days, those players, a lot of them would never have even made the teams. The truth is that although there wasn't enough teams, only the best players made it on those teams. And, now a lot of these guys, they would never have, that are playing in this league now, they would never have made it back then. Would have gotten cut. They weren't good enough. I said that 20 years ago. Now it's even 20 years worse. It is. I mean, so these guys are just blessed. They forget how blessed they are. They get greedy. I told you about the farmer and the workers, right? The last guy, he thought, I worked all day. I should get as much as the guy to work 10 minutes. But no.
Well, I mean, coach can make 12. Coach can make $7 million a year, and player makes nothing. That's just crazy. You got these college coaches making millions a year. They really worth millions a year.
It's their job. Look.
Oh, the kid running into the wall of linemen is not working. Give me a break.
No,
okay.
Game. No, you are doing it as a privilege to.
Then why are players paid at all to play games?
Why are they pay? They shouldn't. Well, because that is an actual league. They want to. The owners want to pay them in that league. But
it's NCAA is it's a league. I mean, there's billions of dollars involved. It's a business. It's a business.
To make it. Some people aren't trying to make it. Some players just play because they want to play in college. They're not going to ever play.
The high-level college competition is a business. I mean, millions and millions. Yeah, it is. It's business deals with TV networks.
It's a business.
These shoe companies signing deals. The players are part of the college. Are they not part of the college? The players are part of the college.
No.
Yes, they are. It doesn't belong
to the kids. It belongs to the college because the college runs the program.
The kids are of the program. They're integral there to the program. You don't have a program without players.
One, some just like playing because they just want to play in college, and they're not going to really be. Two, the ones that do because they're trying to make it their life. It's like their prep school. They're trying to make it their job for life by making the pros. That's why. Yeah.
I mean, you got kids that literally just don't know where their next meal is going. They can't make a few bucks. I mean, I don't. You make these distinctions that I just don't see as even existing. But they're not part of the school. It's the school. The players play for the school. They attend the school. They're of the school.
I'm not saying they shouldn't work for get any money, in their personal life. But that's what a job does.
So they got it. So they go to practice, do the early morning, maybe do the 2 a days, then go to class, and they have to get another job too after they just. So the football players, they can get another job on top of playing for the school and going to school. They can get another job.
Right.
Okay. That's not realistic. I mean, the hours they put in between both the team and the school, where are they going to work to make? They're not going to be able to get 50 to 100 grand working on the side like that.
But they shouldn't be getting 50 to 100 grand.
But if they just have the shirt company make their stupid shirt and sell it for them and not really have to think about it, maybe they could get 50 grand, and it's not a problem. It doesn't hurt anybody.
No, it's still not the job.
What does it hurt though? If this is a negative, if players getting money is a negative, what is the negative? What is it actually hurting?
I didn't say that players getting money was a negative. I just don't think they should get it there. There's other ways to get it until you can get pros or go into whatever you were going to go into in college.
So how else should they get it?
Well, you know what? They're going to have to figure that out along the way. Everybody has a different road. So
the main thing so they get seen on TV every week on national TV, but they can't profit in any way, shape, or form from that.
Rob, so maybe only the stars should get it and the backup should. How about that?
I believe everyone should be open. It should be available to anyone who seeks it and strives for it and puts themselves out there. If a kid signs a deal with a shoe company, who cares?
But
the other kids should try too.
well, I don't think that the shoe company will give it to a backup. They'll give it to the pros.
Look, not everyone. I don't have any illusions that all these kids. I don't have any illusion that you're going to see all these kids pulling in $100,000 a pop across the board. It's not going to happen. But if you can get maybe a couple thousand of them making something, that's it. They're making more than they had before, whatever it is.
Well, but you know what?
Even if it's a couple thousand.
Wait a minute, though. Other kids have jobs in college, Rob, and I mean, and they have to a lot of stuff.
Yeah, the kids' jobs in college are theirs to play football or play the sport.
Huh? Yes, I
Their
know.
job at college is to play the sport. They work you. They work you hard. Believe me, I was recruited for Division I tennis. It would have been a job if I had gone. It would have been a job.
But Rob, but when you're playing tennis, let's be real. The colleges for years didn't care if you passed or not, or to even help you.
And nor should they care if I go on the side and have a commercial with the racket company. They shouldn't care about that either.
Well, you're there, and it's not your business to do that because
it's not my business.
No, it's theirs.
How is it not my business? If I'm a player,
because they run the college, they don't want you doing it. It's their business.
But they don't. They can walk till the cows come home. They're not putting. They're covering a scholarship, and they're making millions and millions of dollars off of me playing this sport because I catch the ball. So what if I go and get my shirt and sell it?
Because that's against the policy, and you're in there.
Policies are subject to change.
Got a bigger policy.
Policies are subject to change.
Yeah, but it's not a job, Rob.
All right. Well, let's just leave the debate at that point. Right. You job, no job. Just the hat.